Good evening, everyone. This is Pradeep, Ambassador of Change from GETI, the Global Education and Training Institute. And right now, you are on our disruptive education platform. On this platform, we have met with and interacted with more than 1,600 uh, educators from India and all over the world. And this evening, we have for you Ms. Neha Wahi. She is an associate vice president of CL Educate Limited, Noida, Uttar Pradesh, and she will be speaking to us on career trends that drive attention, that deserve attention. Uh, she is a psychologist, career guide, expert, and parent coach. Ma'am, please switch on your share your screen, please. So, she is the Vice President of this Capacity Building Vertical and Career Launcher Educational Foundation, CLEF, from AP, the CSR initiative of Career Launcher, and she has a background in psychology and has a keen interest in people and processes. She facilitates trainings for schools, colleges, universities, and corporate houses. She loves to work with the youth and has taken more than 1,500 workshops across 1,000 prestigious schools and colleges for edu leaders, academicians, parents, and students. She has been certified uh, by Dr. Richard Bandler, who is a renowned person in the field. She has also won many prestigious awards and citations. She has many certifications. She has the ABC of parenting from Yale University and uh, from Princeton University in New Jersey. She has cross-cultural etiquette consultation certificate and so on. Behavioral trainer certificate from the Dale Carnegie University from the USA and conflict resolution skills from EQ certified. She's an EQ certified practitioner. So welcome, ma'am, and good evening, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mall. That was a rather long introduction. Thank you, everybody, for being with us here today. I am deliberating on a very interesting topic today, that's futuristic careers, or careers that demand our attention. And I'm hoping that today in the audience we have students, we have parents, educators, because this is one such topic or one such theme that should actually attract everybody's attention now. And we better pay attention to the very, very swiftly moving, changing trends, because before we realize things that were of utmost importance, careers that were prestigious, that were the dream careers for children, would have become redundant, and the newer careers would have actually replaced the older ones. So, before I run you through this presentation of mine today and I speak about what's happening in the world, I don't want to just talk about India today, because when we talk about careers and the way education is moving, the way it's evolving each and every minute as we speak, I think we really need to address these issues on a more global front now. And it's exciting to see how our students are wanting to move to different countries to explore different cultures, different pedagogies, different methodologies of learning, different careers. And I must compliment them for being very, very innovative, a very I should call them risk takers. They're not scared as probably my generation would have been when we were thinking about our careers. They're go-getters, they're dreamers, and they're achievers as well. So this gives them a lot of power, a lot of authority over their own lives when it comes to career planning. The only thing is, I, as a career guidance expert, I have been saying this time and again, and probably in almost all my sessions, that it becomes extremely crucial to have in depth knowledge about whatever you choose to do in life. Please don't start with half baked facts with very less known facts, because that may really affect your journey ahead when you decide your careers. Whatever you plan to do today, the subjects that you may take in your class 11 and 12, I'm referring to your streams, or the combinations that you make ahead when you choose your college, your graduation, post graduation, or you want to go to a doctorate level, or you want to work in the career, in the fields that you are studying back in school. Please remember that these subjects are your partners for life. So you really have to love whatever you choose. You really have to enjoy and be very interested in the subjects that you choose for yourself, because these will turn into careers for you tomorrow. They will be a part of your life. Each day you will be breathing and living this work. So very important for you to have a lot of knowledge around it. Having said that, I've also said it's a very exciting phase when we talk about careers, because things are changing and they're bringing along a lot of opportunity, which probably years back your seniors or your older siblings did not have, or your parents and us, we certainly didn't have. Today, when you think of a particular idea, or you think of a particular prospect, there are multitude of things that you can do around it and create a profile or a portfolio for yourself to go and do something like that. Young shows like the Shark Tank India, which have become very very popular, and I'm sure each one of you must have watched it this season and must be awaiting the next season as eagerly as I am. It opens up your mind to what all is happening around in the country or the world. So whether your students or educators or parents, the key lies to knowledge, lies to information, lies to research, because one cannot manage without these three things today. No matter how much experience I hold today, maybe 16 years of counseling and training, etc., but I still have to research to find out what's latest, what's changing, who's offering what, what are the risks of doing a particular course or getting into a particular career. So keep all this in mind even when you listen to what I have to share with you today when we talk about futuristic careers. So I'm going to begin with some very interesting facts that I've got for all of you, and especially students who are listening to me, who often come and tell me, ma'am, we love sports. We love to do something around sports, but we may not be sports people. I may not be a player, I may not be there on the ground, but I'd love to do something around sports. Or maybe the games period is my favorite period in the school, so I feel I should build a career around games or sports. I don't know what I have to do or where I have to be. So for you, I bring to you this first slide. Well, I've written cricket, but trust me, it would stand good for almost all sports that you can think of. So we have, why I have quoted cricket here is because as Indians, I think it's a favorite. It's one of our, a game that binds, I think, the country together, brings us all together, and especially after the T20, I think the whole scenario around cricket has changed. We get glued to our screens. So students, I really hope that you notice the amount of technology that goes into a sport. I'm again repeating, I'm mentioning cricket, it could be any sport that you watch. Now, here you see certain terms like hotspot, spider cam, super stopper, hawker eye, ball speed measurement. All this has to do with technology around sports. I must give you a very interesting fact here, that when we sit and watch a match back at home with our family with a huge tub of popcorn, all we can see is the screen and those players there in the ground. But what we don't realize is 770 professions work together tirelessly to put one cricket match together for you. I'm going to repeat that. That's 770 professions. So whether we talk about the people behind the maintenance of the grounds, or we talk about the players themselves, or we talk about the managers who manage their teams, we talk about marketing, or we talk about merchandise, the clothes that they wear, the branding that is done, or we talk about the psychologists that work with these teams. It is a countless. I can go on and on to tell you that how many different professions come together to put one game there for you on TV. Having said that, now looking at technology, since my slide says cricket and technology, I'm sure that we all go very close to our screens to see, what was the trajectory of that the ball followed, where all did the ball go once the cricketer hit the six, or did it hit the boundary, or did it go beyond? So these kind of bar diagrams that you see, or the charting that happens of the ball, is done through these kind of technologies. Looking at Hawkeye or hotspot, the infrared light that reflects on whether the ball has hit the cricketer's pad or the bat. All that is technology. Something like a spider cam, which can move horizontally as well as vertically to cover the entire game. The calculation of the ball today is done in a very, the speed of the ball is done in a very different way than it was done before. Super Sopper, our hearts broke, every time it rained and we were enjoying a match. Today, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and your ground is ready again thanks to the Super Supper. So, what is all this technology, and who are the people who are working into these domains? So, as I said, I'll be deliberating through this particular webinar, talking to you about, or opening your mind towards various possibilities that today's times have got to us in different domains, but we haven't even thought or considered them. We haven't thought about them. So I'm just subtly bringing your attention to what's happening around. Now, moving on, we've just gone past Corona times, and I'm not even sure if it's correct to say we've gone past it, because we still hear of COVID cases. But I think each one of us has witnessed the huge development that has happened, whether it is healthcare, whether it's education, whether legal services. Everything is today available at your doorstep or just a click away. Hospitals and clinics are at your mercy inside these small screens of your computers. Legal services and courtrooms and lawyers are available over a screen today. So all these that you see, the Practo, the Doc Online, or whether you were studying as a school student or a college student, or you were on the other side, you were teachers. I think Zoom, Hangout, Vimeo, all these made our lives so much simpler than before. So I think we, again, these COVID times have been a huge testament to the fact that how technology, if utilized well, can actually create a whole new world for each one of us, and a world full of opportunities. So please do reflect upon all these opportunities as career paths for yourself. Talking about fintech, well, was paying or saving or crowdfunding or investing ever as easy as it is now? So whether we talk about blockchain, or you are, if I talk about something more layman that you can understand, the Beam, the Google Pay, the Paytm that even students are using now, or we talk about crowdfunding when somebody's sick and hospitalized. I think each one of us has come through those, though it can be used for many other purposes, but I think it's the most common reason where we see crowdfunding being used. Your parents or the adults around you may be also using fintech for investment. So if you're somebody who's interested in commerce, who's interested in finance related courses, maybe you're thinking of something like a BBA FIA, that's finance investment accounting, or you're simply thinking of going back to chartered accountancy. Well, why not explore the fintech combination, which is technology and finance put together? Sorry, moving on. Future of design. Well, years back, we actually had to go back to the Aladdin books to believe that you would rub a lamp and the genie would appear. But thanks to Apple's Siri and Amazon's Alexa and Microsoft's Cortana, I think each one of us has one of the genies for our personal assistance. So, well, that was on a lighter note, but on a very serious fact, as you can see, right from checking your schedules to giving you reminders to following all the commands that you do, digital assistants are very soon going to be a part of each and every little thing that we do in our lives. So we know about digital assistants when it comes to lighting up the house or switching off the lights, or how you want the house clean. So I think all this is the next big step for you to start thinking, what is it that you can create, put together, make, build. So please keep thinking about all this when you're using these things, because as students, I know you're actively using all these things. Vehicle recognition identification, amazing. This has again changed, been a game changer. The way the challans are coming to our houses, we don't even know when they're getting cut. We don't even realize the sensors are fitted inside the lights, how the number plates are being read. There is technology every single place, and there are people behind this technology. There are people who are inventing this technology. There are people who are utilizing this technology. There are people who are bettering this technology every day. So I'm just showing you different spheres where technology has today become a very very important part, how it has been a game changer, as I've already said, so that in the coming times, when we know that skills like computing, skills of artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, cyber security will be mandatory, will be something that each student will have to use somewhere in their lives. Please do look at the different domains in which they have already crept in, and how you could start looking at making careers in these domains. Talking of robots, I think you dream about one and they get built. It's become as easy as that. So it totally depends on what you are thinking. So again, going back to the Shark Tank example, there were two students who had presented robots in the season, who which was specially designed for the COVID hospitals, where people were very scared to go in and touch things that belong to the COVID patients. So these robots would actually go and collect all the clothes or the used material from the COVID patients, go put them into sanitization zones, and then go back to provide food and drinks and water, etc., to these patients. So there was no human contact, robots were doing it. And as we know, there is a, as I speak about technology and then speak about it in a positive way, at the same time there is a huge threat circling us all the time. We know that how these robots or these machines can actually exchange human beings, and how we do have a fear of losing our jobs if robots take over. So well, the only option then we are left with is build these robots. That's the only way you can compete with them, because you will be the boss, you will be the creator. So today we know that with the maid issues that have been going on in the houses forever, our mothers are extremely happy when we have robots doing the cleaning for us. There is no complication there. You just give your commands, and whatever you command happens. So as you can see, we have Roomba here, who's actually a robot who cleans up the house, detects if there is something in her path. There are sensors which tell her that she has to probably deviate and go and clean the other way. There's a wall there probably. So all this is also something I'd like you to look at as career opportunities. Transportation. Well, what do I say about Uber, Ola, etc.? I think again, going back to the COVID times when the whole world was shut, when transportation became a massive issue, I think Uber stepped in first and changed the whole idea of safe traveling, and they're still maintaining it. So it all depends on how you could use your fresh, brand new creative ideas, and probably give them a little touch of technology, because that's going to be, as I said, a part of every domain, and see what you can do for yourself. Furthermore, I have been speaking about machine learning, data visualization, data engineering, blockchain management, cybersecurity, the UI UX design, mobile development, the Internet of Things. All this that you see on my screen today is the next big change that the world is going to see. Rather, I would say India here, because the world has already started witnessing it. So has India in quite a big way, but there is still a lot more that's going to happen. So, as we understand, learning from experience, learning from data, following instructions, this is what we're talking about when we are saying machine learning. Talking about ML, we are already using machine learning without realizing. This face recognition that you use to unlock your phones, the iris recognition, or the speech recognition is all machine learning, by the way. Credit companies are analyzing your accounts to decide whether they should approve your loans or not. Banks are using the technology. All this is machine learning. Now it is up to you as young students, as the next generation, maybe as parents of these children, or educators who are teaching these children every day, to to help them or fuel newer ideas as to where all machine learning can be used, or how can it make life simpler So again, I would repeat that we are already using machine learning. Where all and how much can you innovate with this at your end will decide your future course. By the prediction of buying habits, well, I think ML is largely being used here. You talk about buying new furniture, back home, and before you realize, on your Facebook, you will start seeing furniture ads. You will have prompts on Instagram, or for that matter, you are looking at a new watch. You just see a watch for a nanosecond on a particular site, and you're flooded with advertisements around watches. All the time, you're wondering, who is sitting there who knows my mind, who knows what I want to watch? How come I'm getting all these suggestions suddenly? So yes, buying habits are being predicted, and that's how marketing is on a different scale altogether. Here I would also like to talk about consumer psychology as a profession, because that is also a very very well paying job opportunity, and today we have a lot of vacancies available in this particular domain. Because as a if you know consumer psychology, you get hired by big brands like Big Bazaar, Spencer's, etc., who need you to tell what would be the color scheme, what would be the design, what would be placed further, how is the sale going to be designed, will 999 work or a thousand and one work. So all this is actually being done by a consumer psychologist. Moving ahead, financial services. How much to save, where to invest, when to withdraw, whether it's mutual funds or it is something else. So all that is now being done through technology, through the use of machine learning. So please see how different realms are coming under machine learning day by day, and how you can start looking at career opportunities in all these areas. Talking about SEO, SEM, search engine optimization, search engine management, very, very important. If you are going to be an entrepreneur tomorrow, or you're going to be working for people who are entrepreneurs, you should know how they are going to appear, right at the top when somebody Googles them up. Or how are you going to market them? How are you going to place their ads if you want their business to work? Here I'm talking about a very different field. I'm talking about marketing, I'm talking about advertising, I'm talking about product management. All this is going to be somewhere connected to the SEO, SEM. A very, very huge opportunity in these times, in these domains. Please don't take this lightly. You could be experts in your areas, and work as SEO managers, SEO developers, marketing managers, social media analysts. Somebody needs to analyze all the data that moves around, web designers, web developers, internet or search marketeers, analysts, or even writers and bloggers. All this will fall under SEO and SEM. All these ads that you see, all the websites that appear, there is somebody who's creating them, right? Who's writing. All this is related to these particular job domains. Then, of course, data visualization, very, very important. How will you communicate through graphs, through diagrams, your understanding of a particular thing? So today, everything is put into graphs, into such kind of data visualization, and huge firms will hire you if you're good with graphics, you're good with subjects like mathematics, statistics, computer sciences. These are great fields to look at. Then, of course, is big data analysis. We've been talking about the millions and millions of money that probably Facebook makes when it sells the data to maybe a WhatsApp, or a WhatsApp sells it to Facebook, or by the various other people that we talk about. Amazon, the entire data of all its buyers. Google, everybody who hops onto Google, which is like everybody in the world literally. What is happening to this data? Who's analyzing it? Who's putting it into different pipelines? How is this data being utilized each minute? Some is the data that can be sold, some that can be put under surveillance, some that is probably very high priority or under risk. Who's managing all this? So this is a big data analyst job, and with the amount of data that is going around in the cyberspace, you can well imagine the number of jobs that await you in this segment. Like we've already said, in a single minute in internet, on internet there is so much of stuff that's happening. 20 million photos are being viewed every single minute. You heard me right, 20 million photographs. 3000 photos are being uploaded every minute. 1 lakh new tweets are happening every minute. There are 47,000 apps that are being downloaded each minute. 204 million emails are being sent each minute. So I'm just giving you few examples, okay? I'm sure you can see the screen for yourself and understand that why am I putting so much attention on technology when I speak about careers that needed attention now. Moving on, in case you're planning to step into these kind of fields, in around internet of things or big data, then information security analysis, forensics, cryptography, a security architect, penetration tester, all these wonderful prospects open up for you. I'm sure if a student is watching this, I'm sure 80% of you may not have even heard of these terms, or maybe not all of them. But these are professions that exist, and there are people who are working in these professions already and making good money, by the way. To simplify what is UI UX design, I would probably take you to a Zomato or a Swiggy. See, both of them are used for the same purpose. We quickly pull out our phones, make a few clicks, and order food. But which do you feel gives you a better experience in terms of design? Is it easier to order food from Swiggy? Is it easier to order it through Zomato? Each one of us has a very personalized view here, but then the design in which those apps are made, it makes it more user friendly. Which one is more user friendly? Similarly, Amazon, Mintra, so many of them, right? Which one would you choose to go and shop online, and why? So the UI UX design is all around, based around the visual communications, the perspective that it gives to a customer or consumer when they are shopping or ordering through your apps or your websites. So this is something that is again majorly going to do well in the coming times. Lot of job prospects here. So if you're good at designing, if you're good at art, if you're creative, these are things that you can discover, and short programs can be started right away even when you're in school. Moving on, I must cover this slide, game programmers. Well, I do a lot of school workshops, as initially was told in my introduction, and I have yet, I'm yet to visit a school where students don't ask me, ma'am, we want to be game designers or game programmers. So first, let's understand that a programmer is actually a software engineer, okay, a computer scientist who will work on codes. So if you are ready to go in that far in your education, do your engineering, then please think of game programming, because most of us make this mistake. We think of getting into go game programming probably because we think padhai nahi karni padti, which is wrong. Okay. Then of course there are game developers, game designers, and game testers. So the game designer is like the father of the whole game, who has this concept, the creative vision. The game developers are programmers who are actually going to now get this vision into reality. Programmers are the ones who are going to give it the sound, the effect, when people, what happens when people fall from a height, when somebody runs behind you, what kind of effects to create. So there are different people excuse me, who work together to create this. And then of course is the game tester, who's extremely important, who comes in the end to check the loopholes of the game and decide whether the game is good enough to get into the market or not. Well, this person will also take a look at the mandate, the government mandates, the regulations, age specifications, safety, whether it can go out or not into the market for use. So all these are also career opportunities for students who are really interested in stuff like this. Mobile development, to speak the least. I know that this generation is glued to the mobiles. Then why not develop and make some smarter pieces? Okay, let us also enjoy what you make. So when I say mobile development, I'm not just talking about a phone, tablets, smart watches, any kind of automobiles that can be converted into smart gadgets are all going to depend on the mobile development course or profession. So if you are somebody who loves to look at things at the micro level, nanotechnology, mobile development, all this could be could be areas of your liking. Cloud computing, I have to speak about this if we are speaking about technology and in these times. Where do we store the data? My goodness, we just saw the amount of data we're creating every minute. Imagine by the end of this workshop that you're doing with me, how much of data would have got created in these 45 minutes or an hour. Where do we save them? Where do we store them? What happens to the applications? What happens to the servers? Can they be something like a virtual desktop? So it is more and more exciting and getting even better now with time, thanks to cloud computing. People are actually buying space, but somebody has to create, somebody has to manage, somebody has to monitor, somebody has to ensure that these place spaces don't get hacked or affected. So who's going to do all this? These are all professions that you can look at in the coming times. You could be cloud architects, like I said, builders of these clouds, developers, how more space can be utilized or created, and even look at the security as a security specialist. Last but not the least is cybersecurity. I better not leave the space without talking about it. I think you must know, students and the audience, everybody who's listening to us today, that they say that the number of crimes that happen in the cyberspace are far more than the numbers of crimes that happen in the real world. And sadly, some of the biggest crimes have been planned and implemented in the cyberspace. A lot of monetary damage has happened, a lot of ethical damage has happened. We know the threats that the young children might have to face. Thank you to the predators, on the cyberspace. We really need very strong cybersecurity systems. We need people to analyze every single thing that is, available for use, how to literally put virtual gates for safety and protection, and how to better these systems so that hackers who can causes any kind of damage, or predators can't hack through or can't negatively affect or take away our money or property or our identities. So cybersecurity is one of the highest paying and the fastest moving domain when it comes to career possibilities. It is said that by the year 2025, the largest number of jobs would be actually available in cybersecurity space. So do think about it. I have to speak about ethical hacking now because it is very related to cybersecurity. First, I'd like you to understand that a lot of students tell me, ma'am, we want to become a hacker. You don't want to become a hacker, you want to become an ethical hacker who has legal permission to strengthen the system, make them penetration proof, not to hack or to create vulnerabilities. So, as an ethical hacker, you are doing something which is extremely legal and you have permission obtained for the same. So, if you do possess skills and you do have interest or a mindset towards doing such things, I think today a lot of Hollywood and Bollywood movies also show this profession in great limelight, and a lot of youngsters are attracted towards these fields. So, ethical hacking also becomes a very nice profession or domain for you to look at. Moving on, various technologies coming. Latest, what they're going to come up is they're calling it the artificial emotional intelligence, which means, as you can see up in the slide, the emotions are being tracked and then they are being converted into research or study as to how people react or respond, how people feel. This could be a huge, I would say, opening into a huge disruption into psychology and spaces as well, into emotional intelligence. So a lot of these technologies can be used to better the state of mind of people, to up the emotional quotient, the happiness quotient of the society at a large, to even decipher or detect if there are any kind of emotional or psychological ailments. All this can be done through these kind of innovations. Well, we know the amount of, we've just spoken about the threat that we have. With technology comes the negative side of it, also comes the number of crimes that have greatly increased, and we do need somebody very strong with forensics in each and every company, in each and every department, to ensure safety of data, of people, of identity at all times. Cryptography would also fall under this, where you see in WhatsApp it says end to end encrypted, which means how do you protect the information that is being shared? How are you so sure that the photographs being shared, that the PAN cards and Aadhaar cards being shared, that the financial transactions happening are safe at all times? Who's looking at these codes? So these are cryptographers that are also working and earning good money. So it's like I really like this slide. So I'm sharing it with you. How would your private key get converted into a digital signature? How can it be sent over internet? How it becomes a public key, which is not under any kind of danger? And how you could verify that particular signature and use it wherever you want. So it's a process that's happening under cryptography. For students who are now looking at computer science but with some liberal art kind of courses, well, you could do it with philosophy, with sociology, with psychology, with fine arts, with music, with theater. You could combine anything with computer science thanks to the NEP and the various changes that it has brought along with it. For students who are interested in integrating these fields, somebody as big as Yale University is offering you a beautiful program which is a combination of computers and psychology. Computers as well as music is being offered by Harvard. I mean, all of you who dreamt of Harvard but didn't know what to go and study there, today you know that you could actually not just create and edit music but analyze music material through intelligent musical systems that you would be creating if you do this particular course. Mathematics and computing, our own Chennai Mathematical Institute, you don't even have to move outside India. You can actually look at these fields if you're looking at mathematical finance or getting into hardcore technical fields of maths and computing. Well, talking about the non-medical further, BTech, Information Technology and Mathematical Innovations, being offered by Delhi University. So students in Delhi, if you're looking at a BTech program of a different type, you can actually go for IT with mathematical innovations. This is a huge list, as you can see. You want to develop ops, you want to get into big data, blockchain, e-commerce, graphics, cybersecurity, forensics, computational sustainability, internet of things and smart cities, business analytics and optimization, cloud computing and visualization, oil and gas informatics, things that probably never caught your attention, specialization in e-commerce. All these are specializations under engineering, and we only thought about electricals, electronics, mechanical, software, etc. So the world is your playground as long as you know what you want to do and from where. I must talk about some specific fields as well, like quantum biology, quantum physics. You could actually go in for applied mathematics, organic and inorganic chemistry. There are a lot of students who say, we love chemistry or we love bio, we love physics, but put together, we don't enjoy science. Well, these kind of courses come to your rescue. Biomedical engineering, I'm sure I don't have to give you the huge scope that lies hidden here with all the hospitals around that you can see and the medical inventions that are happening. Thanks to COVID, to bird flu, to chikungunya, to bacteria and viruses that attack us all the time, we need people to research. We need people to come out with some kind of solutions. So, pharmacology, vaccine biology, all these are also newer sciences that are available today for students to study and reflect upon. Artificial intelligence in biology, how machines are replacing body organs, body parts. It's beautiful how robots are doing surgery. So all this is artificial intelligence in biology if it interests you. Bioinformatics, biology and computers put together. Epidemiology, well, COVID has told us time and again, epidemics can come back or they may always remain, God knows. But somebody has to study, research, and get a solutions here as well. Space agriculture, major space constraint. We don't have space, right? So how are we going to do agriculture? How are we going to take it further? All this would fall under, your biology, your science, and how you can put computers and all this together. So I think I've given you a major idea about a lot of things. I do not want to, flood you with more ideas because it'll confuse you. But I'm only trying to show you the number of domains, the number of career opportunities that actually open up to you if you are well planned, if you're going step by step, if you're exploring who you are, what you like doing, where do your interests lie. So, whether you're a student, parent, or educator, in case this presentation has made any sense to you, I'd be very happy to share my knowledge, little knowledge that I have, or the information that's available with me with you at any given point in time. So, this is on what we had to speak about today, which was drawing your attention to some areas or some domains which can't go unattended, which we must consider as newer domains, which students can discover and enjoy working in. So, with which I think I'm going to take a little break here and breathe and give it over to Mr. Mall in case he would want to put in a few comments.
Thank you, ma'am, for that very, very interesting talk on career trends that deserve attention, basically focusing on the future. And I'm sure it is going to be of great help to all the young people watching this. And good evening, everybody. And thank you for being here. Before we leave, uh, if you're interested in more information on our pre-service programs, our in-service programs, and the talks that you would like to tune into, please go to 740-840-1000. So good evening, everybody, and goodbye, and see you again tomorrow. Thank you, Neha, ma'am, so much
Thank
for this very, very interesting talk. Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me over. Thank you, everybody. Good evening.
Welcome, ma'am.